Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have a beer from a brewing company that I don't think I've done a review for yet. This is from Platform Brewing out of Cleveland, Ohio. Full disclosure, they are now owned by AB InBev, but this was made before that transaction happened. This beer is called Emo. It's a barrel-aged s'mores Imperial Stout. Stuff about the grains are in, hops doesn't really matter, yeast. Marshmallow, graham cracker, and lactose are the things added to the beer. And it says it's bourbon and rum barrel, so it's double barrel aged, I guess. It is 10.0 ABV. I've not had this before. I don't know anything about it other than the description on the can. So, crack it open and see what we got. I never loved Platform, but I've had some decent things from them. So, curious to see how this is. I will say, I think most of the stuff I've had from them has not been stouts though. And so you can see it pours a darker brown color, but I mean there's definitely some like red highlights at the bottom. It's not like jet black. And the head is like beige. It's not even tan. It's pretty light. I mean it honestly almost looks like a darker brown ale. Versus an Imperial Stout. Huh. Aroma is actually pretty nice. I definitely get a lot of bourbon, but it's more of like the spirit character rather than the oak and vanilla. But that could also be the rum as well, because rum to me usually comes off more as like the alcohol presence than the actual like barrel or something from the sugar in the rum. I do get some like marshmallowy character, which I guess is basically vanilla because I think that marshmallows are vanilla flavored. There is some like some milk chocolate in there too. It actually smells pretty decent. It does just. I know you can't smell sweetness, but all of the smells that I'm getting out of this, I'm tying to things that I've had that were sweet. So I'm assuming this is going to be sweet, but we'll see. Man, there is a big struggle between good and not so good in this. So I mean the good parts, there is a good bit of nice oaky bourbon character. The marshmallow and vanilla to me is coming off like a little artificial. There is like an earthy hop kick on the back end, which I was not expecting. I generally like that in a stout, but for like a s'mores type thing, which you would expect to be pretty sweet and like desserty, I don't really think it's appropriate. So it's kind of weird. It actually is pretty bitter too, and I'm guessing that's mostly from the hops because it's not. It doesn't come off as like super roasty either. It's really not that sweet. Sometimes when you taste those flavors that you associate with sweet things, you assume that what you're actually consuming is sweet, but that's not necessarily the case. Like if you taste something with vanilla in it, it kind of, or at least for me, it kind of automatically triggers me thinking that it's sweet. But then when I really think about what I'm drinking, it's like, oh, it's really not that sweet. And that's kind of the scenario here. So I do appreciate that. I will say the body is almost non-existent. I don't want to say non-existent, but sorry. I will say the body is very very light for an Imperial Stout. It does have like a little bit of like a caramel note to it as well. But that earthy hop character in the middle of it, like I said, I generally appreciate that for an Imperial Stout. I think it's a good thing. But when you're trying to do like a s'mores one, which to me that's kind of supposed to be, just basically the base stout flavor and then like all these desserty type flavors. I don't know if that hop flavor really makes sense. I will say if the barrel character wasn't here, I probably wouldn't like this that much. I think that's kind of what is bolstering everything. Yeah, there's really not much else to say about this one. It kind of is what it is. It's a weak, watery stout with some flavor elements. It's also barrel aged. That's kind of what it is. The base isn't that great. There's no inherent like off flavors or anything like that, but it's just not a very substantial beer for being an Imperial Stout. And people who like marshmallow and vanilla will probably appreciate this, so I get why they might like it. I do like the barrel character it has, but I don't know if that's enough to really carry the whole beer. So on my scale of buy, drink, dump, I'm just gonna give this a drink. It's fine. I'll gladly drink the rest of this, but it's just not really what I want in an Imperial Stout and or a barrel aged beer. And I'm guessing this is probably pretty cheap just because their stuff is usually pretty reasonable. Excuse me. But even at that, some of the Bell's barrel aged offerings are like $7 for 12 ounce. If this is less than that, it's probably not much less, and the Bell stuff is just lights out. So I really can't justify buying this when I can get something like that at that price. So I'm just gonna give this a drink, but it's still a quality beer, and if you like s'mores flavored things, I would recommend trying it at least because I think it does deliver on that. It's just not necessarily in my wheelhouse. But I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.